Well, I just touched down in LaGuardia. I was hoping that former Mayor Eric Adams was here to greet me in the jetway, but guess that's not happening. Well, there it is, the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Last time I was there was for David Gilmour from Pink Floyd. What a show that was. I'm sure I'll get there at some point again in the near future. So wandering around Times Square now. Been here so many times, to be honest with you. It just keeps getting more and more chaotic every time I come here. You can find just about anything and everything at Times Square. Some really cool ads, like this movie poster behind me. Oh, no, it's changing to Disney. Look at this. Okay, so I'm gonna go do the New York City Revolutionary Trail. I'm big into the War of Independence, so I'm just gonna hop on the subway and venture down to Battery Park and start the tour and hopefully learn a few things. Let's go check out the Revolutionary Trail. I'm currently waiting to take the New York subway down to Battery Park to start this Revolutionary War Trail. I haven't taken the New York subway in 11 years, so we'll see how this goes. So I'm at Bowling Green Park, which is right near Battery Park, the south end of Manhattan, and this was the very first public park established in New York City. Very small. The architecture around here is pretty cool. I'm in the southern part of the financial district, and I don't know how old these buildings are behind me, but they look pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of colonial America, but I'm sure they're not that old. I did a quick search and I think that they were probably from the 1800s. I don't think they're from the 1700s, but anyway, I thought they looked pretty neat. So this is the Fraunces Tavern, which is actually upstairs, but a few quick things that I found from a search. Part of the building was constructed in 1719. I don't know how accurate that is, but it does tell me that this is where George Washington did his farewell speech to the military after the War of Independence. And this is also where a lot of the founding fathers hung out during wartime or pre-war time, where they would discuss the revolution. So interesting. What I love about scenes like this is you have some older architecture down the street, contrasted in the background with some modern skyscrapers and skyscrapers maybe from 100 years ago or so. Just a total mixture of time, all kind of in one scene. So this is Hanover Square. This is where the first printing presses were used building up to the War of Independence. So when the ships would come in from London, they would get news from overseas, and then this is when they would print the news and then distribute it upwards to Boston, downwards to Philadelphia. A lot of what they were printing here was anti-British literature and trying to build a rebellion leading up to the War of Independence. So although there's nothing here to look at now, back in the day, this was a very crucial part of the start of the Revolutionary War effort. Behind me, what is now basically a place to dump garbage, is where the Battle of Golden Hill occurred. The first bloodshed during the War of Independence, where a bunch of rebels were gored to death with British bayonets and so forth. But this is what we are left with now, so. Snow's starting to come down here in New York. I thought that this scene looked pretty cool with the Brooklyn Bridge behind me. So the snowy tour of New York continues. This is City Hall behind me. Shout out Mary Mamdani. But what I wanted to show you was this is the Woolworth Building. Now, this held the record for the world's tallest building from 1913 to 1930. And then after, there was another building, I can't remember off the top of my head which one it was, then it became the Chrysler Building, then very quickly was the Empire State Building. But for a very brief 17 years, I guess you could say, in the grand scheme of history, this was the world's tallest building. Just walking right into the snow right now. It's just completely attacking my face. So if you've seen National Treasure, here at the Wall, Broadway and Wall Street, Trinity Church, this is where Nicolas Cage goes underneath. They go through that burial site, break through the stone, go all the way down. There's all that treasure. This was founded in 1696. Crazy. Federal Hall, a lot of history here with respect to the American Revolution, but my favorite tidbit that I learned is this is where George Washington took the very first presidential oath of office. So there's your cool tidbit to end this revolutionary tour off. I feel the stiffness, the soreness in my back, even from carrying a lighter backpack now throughout the course of an entire day. I think it's probably something that when I'm, for example, in Europe and I'm doing that for 3.5 weeks, I think my body just gets more used to it. Another thing that I've learned while traveling is don't make decisions until you have to. When I do big trips, I plan a lot of things, but I know to not
plan it in a literal step-by-step because it's just not realistic.
And the next thing I want to mention to my American friends with the pennies. What are we doing with the pennies? You know what? You could say a lot of things about Canada. If you want to say Americans are doing things better than Canadians, there's a lot that you could criticize Canada for, and I'm not gonna object that right now. But the one thing that we're doing right in Canada is getting rid of the pennies. No one wants to carry these pennies around. They're stupid. Just move on. Those pennies aren't even mine. They're my brother's. When he was in here earlier, and he, I guess, had dropped them, and they were just basically kind of thrown under the bed. They're an under the bed object. No one cares about the pennies, so you could do away with the pennies. Well, what was supposed to be a Sunday morning snowy walk through Central Park ended up being a rainy walk, but you can see the San Remo building back there, Upper West Side luxury apartments. That's where Bono bought a place from Steve Jobs. I just read that Mick Jagger, at least at one point, had a place there. I don't know what Sunday is going to bring us, but we're starting the day off in Central Park and we'll see what happens. Look at this pad thai. I just got shrimp pad thai. I asked which one was the best, chicken, shrimp, whatever, and she said shrimp 100%, so taking the recommendation here. I wanted to put a good amount of effort into finding a new place in New York, preferably an Asian cuisine that I haven't been to, and I can say that I definitely made the right call coming to this place. So I asked the bartender, I was like, are you cool if I take any video in here? She said, yeah, go for it, we don't care. So they're cool with it. But I feel so uncomfortable right now being the guy sitting at the bar eating by himself with the camera rolling. But I figured, you know what? If you pull it out and you just let it roll, even though I don't know what I want to say, what I want to do, that something good would probably come of it. So I basically just told myself that I had to stop being a wimp and pull my camera out and just do it. So here I am. I remember being in Thailand, having big meals like this. For $3-4, you get a smoothie. The smoothies are incredible there. The mango, freshest mango I've ever had. Mango sticky rice is a dessert that's very hard to replicate because the mango, for example, in North America just isn't as fresh. So having mango sticky rice in Thailand is just phenomenal. I never liked coconut ever until I went to Thailand. That was the first time when I tried something that was coconut that I ever thought it tasted good. Whenever I had coconut products in North America, I always thought they were terrible. Cutlery, she brought me a fork and a spoon at first, and I told her, I'm like, no, I need chopsticks. I can manage. I always laugh because sometimes when I was in Asia, sometimes they would try to bring me a fork because I obviously don't look like I'm from there. And I would just kind of laugh and be like, no, like chopsticks, I can use chopsticks. So this is Singha beer. This is one of the popular beers that comes out of Thailand. My favorite beer in Thailand was actually Chang. Sometimes you'll find Thai places that have it, sometimes they won't. Everything is great. Yeah, everything is delicious. Thank you. Reminds me of Thailand. It's like, well, it's like I can tell when I get Thai food, like if I think it's authentic or not. So it's like, yes, this is very good. Thank you. What do you have? I'm curious. It does look really good. How big is it? It's funny because I wasn't planning on getting dessert here, but like this does look really good. So, because I was definitely going to get dessert anyway. Okay, yeah, you sold me on it. I'll have it. Yeah, thank you. I think it was your enthusiasm when you were explaining it to me. I was like, I could just tell. I was like, this is probably going to be good. The desserts in Thailand are so good. I'm like, oh, this is probably going to be dynamite. Okay. Thank you. I had something like this in Thailand. It's some sort of sticky rice with coconut and ice cream, and yeah, that's pretty good. It's like ice cream with coconut, but it's not overly sweet, which I like. I had this in Thailand. I was like, yeah, this is. I remember liking this. My initial thought of running the camera right now is it actually makes eating by yourself way more fun. As someone who will travel anywhere in the world completely by myself, I have no problem eating by myself. Eating by yourself actually can be pretty fun.
What is your YouTube channel name?
I'm like just kind of starting, so I don't have like, you know, many people subscribe to me. She's asking me for my YouTube channel. Yeah. This is hilarious. Okay. My YouTube channel.
Cody?
Yeah, that's my name, yeah. Yes.
I'm Jay.
Jay?
Jay. But Thai name is Jay.
Oh, okay. But it's just Jay? Like, say Jay? Oh, okay. Nice to meet you. Yeah. You did a great job. Everything was delicious. Yeah. Man, that's so funny. Oh my God. I got the whole thing on video, too. Half hour, 40 minutes ago, whatever it was when I sat down, I was so afraid to pull out the camera. And it just, shit like that happens. That's so funny. Let it be a lesson. Always have your camera on you and don't be afraid to turn it on. Oh my God. My mom is going to absolutely love this story. At least now I can't look back on certain parts of my trip and be like, oh, I wish I shot more. I wish I did more of this. It's like I'm making a conscious effort to try to do new things, do things that make me feel uncomfortable and scared. And now I know that you'll leave here and you're not really going to give a fuck. And it just makes it doing it the next time all the more easy. So I definitely don't want to do this every meal the rest of my life. I'm not suggesting that, but sometimes you gotta try new things.
So one of my other favorite things to do when I travel, going to other cities, is going into just random guitar stores. And Guitar Center is a massive guitar chain in the US. I've actually never been into one of their stores before. Weather obviously isn't the best right now, so I was thinking, okay, well, let's just go look at some cool guitars, maybe try a couple out, and let's see what they got. From what I have seen online, their selection is massive, so I'm hoping to find a couple of things that are pretty cool. So inside the Guitar Center, they actually have an Ace Frehley signed guitar. I love how he puts the Ace. That's pretty cool. So if you're not familiar with guitar stores, Guitar Center, as I said, pretty popular chain now across the United States. Look at all these things. This purple PRS I think is beautiful. Faded gray, black, purple burst, yeah, it's pretty cool. They do lessons in here. They have a whole drum area over there and a bass specific area, but you can see they have all the guitars organized by brand, which I think is pretty cool. Makes it pretty easy to spot what it is you want to look at. Tom Morello's guitar up there. Some people just let it rip. It's a kid. That's awesome, I love that. Kid looks like he's, I don't know, 10, 12, something like that. I like the tone that kid was using. Letting it rip, I love it. Yeah, they got some cool things in here. I haven't seen anything that compares to some of the prices I saw in the guitars in London and Stockholm and so forth. But I'm pretty sure that's Paul Stanley's Shattered Glass guitar in the middle there. I don't think I've ever even strummed a bass guitar before. These electronic drum sets. And I guess that's a sound shield because someone was playing earlier and it seemed to muffle the sound pretty well. So I didn't see an extensive pick collection, which I thought they might have. Collection, selection, whatever. This one reminds me of one of the Flying V's that James uses. You can get some headphones and you can just plug into the console and you can just fiddle around with different guitar effects. So the one that I am really liking is this Poly Blue Octave. It's a very David Gilmour, Pink Floyd sounding effect, and I've just been messing around, playing random things. This is Sanitarium intro, sounding like Pink Floyd. Sounds like an organ. Sounds very, very, very odd, but very cool. All right, let's play some heavy shit. Angelo, if you're watching my vlog, those guitar phases are for you. Okay, I'm not much of a drummer. I don't play the drums much, but I'm just gonna give this a whale for a few minutes. It was a great, I don't even know how long I spent in Guitar Center. I'm gonna say I was there for probably an hour and 15 minutes. Might have even have gone an hour and a half. It's always fun going into guitar stores and just fooling around and seeing what they have. Always see different models I've never seen before. It's been a bit of a weird day. Didn't really know when I started what was gonna happen. And for the first bit of the morning, as I've already talked about it was kind of like I wish I could be using my time better here in New York. But between the lunch and now to the guitar store, I turned a meh morning into a good afternoon. Okay, so you can see that we made a quick little stop. I realized that the Guitar Center was only one subway stop away from the Flatiron Building, which I have not seen yet, and all the times I've been to New York City. Now, as you can see over my shoulder, the Flatiron Building is currently covered in scaffolding. So basically, I got off the subway, completely wasted my time, walked over here to see this. So now we're going back to the hotel. Very underrated travel hack is just lying on your hotel bed after you've been out for half the day in complete silence and just staring at the ceiling. I never realized how much I enjoyed this. Just listen to that fridge hum. That's what you want to hear. So do you ever get that feeling when you're traveling and you've been out for a good chunk of the day and you walk into your hotel, Airbnb or whatever, and you sit down for the first time in so long, and you start to realize, oh my gosh, I'm actually so tired right now. I feel like it's so easy when you're out touring around to just be able to go, and then as soon as you come back to your accommodation, it can just be done just so quickly. Right now, I feel like is a key turning point in one of those travel days where you're feeling tired, but you know, you gotta rest up to do some more stuff later on. By the way, when they come and do room service in a hotel, what's with the angle on these pillows? Like, obviously I'm gonna have to move the pillows, which is fine. I guess what I'm saying is, if I were in charge of housekeeping, I would have them angle the pillows by default. I don't know, maybe it's aesthetics. I don't really get it, but I don't run a hotel. Look at this, the first clear day that we have had since getting to New York, the last day. Since I was last filming, we wanted to go to the Comedy Cellar for a comedy show. My brother does stand-up comedy, and I hear the comics on Rogan talk about the Comedy Cellar all the time. I know it's very famous, very well known. So I said, you know what, let's go check it out. I had been looking at tickets online. It seemed like from the glance that I had given their website a few times that tickets were just generally available. Without firmly committing to a time, just in case something came up, we did something else, we just said that we would show up and wing it. Well, if you're gonna go to the Comedy Cellar, I would suggest booking a reservation ahead of time because it was an absolute shit show trying to get tickets. Now, we did end up getting picked from the wait list. We got in, we had an amazing time. I think that I will go to the Comedy Cellar for a comedy show every time I come into New York. I loved it so much. All the comics were hilarious. It was about an hour and a half. It was the perfect length. We got to see, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 comics. I think they each did roughly 15 minutes each. If you like stand-up comedy, definitely go to the Comedy Cellar if you come to New York. So when I travel, I try to make the most out of my food and the leftovers. This is the last leftover piece that we have from the chicken parm pizza from Quality Italian. I'm gonna have this just because, again, you can't waste food when you travel. So I figure if I have this and I can have the rest of my carrot cake, cheesecake from Junior's at about 10 in the morning, and then that'll get me to lunchtime. So I know it's not the best thing, obviously, and I usually eat pretty healthy, but sometimes you just gotta roll with it. And I'm gonna say this too, how underrated is eating on your bed in a hotel? I know that when I grew up playing travel baseball and all that, it would always be getting a pizza box and just eating the pizza from the box right on your bed, getting crumbs everywhere. So there is a little pleasure that I take in eating on my hotel bed, even though I have a desk that I could go eat at. So you'll see like how thick this chicken is. Like, this is pretty heavy. So I'm glad I didn't eat this the other night when I was completely full. It's still good 2 days later for breakfast. This chicken parm is so good. And that's the chicken done. Let's dominate this cheesecake and then get out of here for an hour and go see some stuff. My brother and his girlfriend love Junior's cheesecake. Raquel grew up in Queens, so she knows what's good. I wanted to try something different, so I tried the carrot cake cheesecake. I very much enjoyed eating it last night. I'm glad I didn't finish it. I ended up sleeping just fine because I ate it at like 12:15. But now this is just a little bit that I can munch on at 10:15 in the morning, and then we'll be eating lunch in about 2 hours. Okay, and this is the last piece of cheesecake, and now we're gonna go outside. Let's go check it out. So this is called The Vessel. It's by Hudson Yards in New York. and it's a honeycomb looking kind of structure that not in the wintertime, but when it's warmer you can go and you can walk up, I guess, for some views. It looks pretty cool, but they have it closed during the winter. It's probably way too icy to go walk in that, but anyway, it was just something to come quickly check out. Uh-oh, we got a matcha place across the street. This whole matcha kick that everyone's on. It's like the pesto of caffeines, this whole matcha thing. I think I'm just outright refusing to ever have matcha because I just can't stand how much everyone seems to love it. That's right, you heard it here first. My mentality is, God forbid someone drank a beverage that they actually enjoyed.